Hey guys, I've been given some trout to smoke. I put a video on a few years ago about smoking trout, but I was using a different smoker. I've gone over onto a gas-fired smoker. I find the results are a lot better. You get much more control. That's just for me. Maybe I'm a bit of a dweeb when it comes to fires. Right, so there's 4 trout here. 2 of them are brown trout, that one there and that one there. They're both big trout. They're about 7 pounds, and these 2 middle ones are rainbows. I took out quite a lot of flesh. They were given to me frozen, and when a trout defrosts, the flesh can go pretty soft, so I had to make sure that I was taking out all the bones. These guys have got young kids. What I've done then is I've used this mixture here. It's a rock salt mixture. I actually smoked the rock salt first just to infuse some flavour into it. It's got a little bit of chilli, some lime zest and a little bit of dill. And then I sprinkle that over. It's rock salt, so it's pretty strong. Watch how much you use of that. Fold them up, leave them in the fridge for about 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer if you can. Bring them out. The flesh will be a lot firmer than it was when you put it in, due to what the rock salt does to it. Draws out the moisture and sort of firms it up. And then from there, I leave them to sit and just come up to room temperature. I've got the smoker going, and I'll go out and show you that part. Right, let's see if I can do this in one take. Right, so the fish is in. The biggest brownie is at the bottom. The other one is at the top, and I've got the rainbows in the middle. I've got just over 2 cups of manuka and kanuka. Manuka is sweet, kanuka is strong. It's about a 1/3 kanuka mix. So I've put that in. That tray is very hot. I've got everything turned up high. The smoker was hot when I put these in. Like any oven, put your food in when it's hot. These fish will just soak the heat up for the first little while, so I'm going to shut this up. And I'm going to leave that on high just for a little while, just to get the heat through the wood chips. And then you don't want this to go above 150. So your main enemy is the heat that it can produce. So you've got to watch that, and that means if I turn it up high, then the heat will come up and they'll cook too fast. I'll get plenty of smoke, but they'll cook too fast. So you've got to get enough smoke to flavour it, but have the heat turned down so they don't cook too fast, so they smoke more than cooking. Alright, so I'll come out shortly and I'll turn that down, and we'll keep that temperature down. Cheers, sorry for the rant. Right, so it's been about 10 minutes. The temperature's just slowly crept up, but there's plenty of smoke, so this is a perfect time to turn it down. And we're going to go down to medium, and that should keep the temperature down but produce heaps of smoke. I'll come out in about 10 minutes and change the 2 big trout around so the top one goes down the bottom. See you then. Right, so I've come out, I've swapped the trout over, so they're going to cook evenly. Temperature's really good, it's putting out lots of smoke, it's still on medium. I'll just keep an eye on the smoke situation, because that sawdust will probably be burning through, and I just want a little bit more smoke. So I'll keep an eye on that. Temperature's good, as I said. Right, so I've taken the rainbows out. They're cooked. They're not as big as the brown trout, so they're going to need to come out sooner than the brownies. I've also swapped the brownies over. What I'm going to do is I've scooped those embers to the back of the tray there. I'm going to put some fresh sawdust in, about 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to turn up the heat a fraction and get these cooking. So these are the rainbows that I smoked today. You should be, or I consider that you should be aiming for a flesh which is full of flavour, but it's still moist. I don't like dry fish. This goes well with pretty much every cracker and cream cheese that you can imagine. Yeah, that's rainbows. The brown trout will just take a little bit longer, and I'll show you those. Rightio, so here's a finished product on the browns. They've been in there for 2 hours at about 100 degrees. I ended up just turning the smoker off and just letting it cool down. It's a good way to finish the fish. The skin's lovely and dry. I haven't overcooked them with heat, you can tell, otherwise all the scales would pop up. It's not a very nice product when that happens. and inside, as you can see, it's really moist. All the oils have come out. I'm going to halve those, and like the rainbows, I'm going to vacuum pack them in a 0 pack. I believe that vacuum packing, apart from the obvious that they store better and they last longer, but it actually compresses all the flavours into the flesh. So, you know, if you leave it vacuum packed for a week and then you open it up, you're going to have a superb eating fish if it's been smoked correctly. So there you go, that's the way that I smoke my trout now. I hope you've enjoyed this, hope you get something out of it. You can look at my website, taupofishing.co.nz. It's got some fishing pics and stories and things like that, and I have a trout smoking service there. Alrighty, thank you, bye bye.